I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, well now you can.
All right.
Yeah, the button wasn't working. So all right, so here is what we did. We worked on our Ice Melt claim evidence reasoning. Let me get on physical science here. So all right, so this is what we worked on. We worked on this, the Ice Melt claim evidence reasoning. It's in classroom under the claim evidence reasoning stuff. We also talked a whole bunch about coronavirus in a few different countries and stuff, but that's not real significant for right now. So do you have this bad boy pulled up?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
All right, I'm here.
Okay, so this basically for our claim evidence reasoning, evidence one is going to be from the original Ice Melt lab. Evidence two is going to come from the chemistry refreeze lab, which is where they mix salt into water and then stuck it in the freezer to see which one would freeze the fastest. Evidence three is your guys' Rust lab. And then evidence four is this cost lab that the 8th graders completed for us. So if you click this link here, it pulls up all of the data. So there's the data. Let's go back to the original template here. So evidence, first off, we need to write a simple claim. So you just need a basic claim that says like ice melt blank is the best ice melt to use. So just put something like that.
All right.
I guess I could type it here. Okay, got it. And then evidence one is going to come from the original lab. And for the lab data, what is it that we want from this original lab? So the original lab is the one where we had ice in beakers and then we put salt on top of it and then we stuck them in the freezer. So what did we want from those lab results? Which one of these is, how do we know what's the best?
Well, we would, here, let me pull this up. We would want the one with the highest or lowest score. Forget.
Yeah, so we want the one with the highest melt and fastest.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just look at 11:15. So that would be the within an hour. So which one of those would you say was the best? Top three. Top three.
Out of the top three, we'd want probably highest and fastest, kosher.
Okay, and we'll write down three of them.
Kosher, iodized, and don't have the other one. Kosher, iodized, and 4,300.
How about non-iodized? It was a 12.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
I mean, we can put 4,300 down too. It got fourth.
All right.
All right. Evidence two comes from the second lab, which was the refreeze lab that the chemistry students did. They put salt water in the freezer to see which one would freeze. And here's what it says. How do you know which one's the best on the refreeze?
how do we know the best on the refreeze is they didn't? So, oh shoot, I think it's being a little here.
So we want the one that didn't freeze.
Yeah.
Because we don't want an ice melt that freezes.
Trying to get all this low, it's not really working.
We don't want ice melt that freezes. No. All right, so which ones didn't freeze?
All right, so which one didn't freeze?
Ones that did freeze were looks like if on the refreeze, yep, on the refreeze it looks like iodide didn't freeze, which is Roadrunner, Polar Bear Kosher, non-iodized.
Nah, those all froze, man. We want the ones that did not freeze.
Did not freeze. Okay. So it looks like did not freeze, which is control.
Now that froze.
Am I reading this wrong?
Yeah, if
Okay.
it says frozen, it froze.
All right. So on the which one are we reading?
The refreeze chemistry lab. It says refreeze solutions lab report chemistry.
Yeah. So are we going off the 5% or the 25%?
All of them. There's 2 of them that didn't freeze.
2 of them that didn't freeze, which are 4,300 and beet salt.
Kind of. Snowplow and kosher. So snowplow and kosher didn't freeze at all.
All right. I see what I was messing up. Okay, I got you.
Okay, so we're gonna say didn't freeze, snowplow, and kosher.
Yeah, I see where I was messing up.
All right, and then evidence 3 is the third lab, which is the rust lab from Phi-Sci. You guys. How are we gonna know which one's the best from the rust lab?
Didn't have or had the least amount of rust.
All right, less rust. So which one's the least rusty? Give me top 3.
Let me scroll down to it. Okay, top 3 least rusty is Roadrunner, Control, and Epson, and Sand, but I don't think Sand really counts.
Okay, so we are not going to use the control because that would mean we wouldn't put any ice melt down, and that would do us no good. We're not going to use Epsom salt because it doesn't melt the ice. So far, we have Roadrunner. What else we got?
Correct. Roadrunner, we have Kosher and
Okay.
4,300.
All right. Roadrunner. All right, evidence 4 is the cost data from the 8th graders. You have not seen this data before.
All right.
So there's the cost data. Notice that the bottom row says unit cost. That is per pound.
Okay.
So what do we want on the cost?
The least.
Yeah, we want the cheapest one. So it's already highlighted green because the 7th graders highlighted it for us. So That is 4300, Roadrunner, and Polar.
Yeah.
Got it. Additionally, while you're looking at that cost thing, which ones cost the most?
Which ones cost the most is okay. Looks like snowplow. No. Iodized. Iodized snowplow table non-iodized. Epsom 2.
And kosher's $2 almost. So
Oh yeah.
we had this conversation at school about, you know, sometimes it's worth it to pay a little bit more to get a higher quality product. Like I don't know, like for me that's like camping gear, you know, like bike and stuff, like a kayak maybe. You know, you spend a little bit extra money, you get a higher quality product. The girls in class talked about manicures, like you pay a little bit more for a nicer manicure, it lasts longer. Some of the kids said like car parts, you know, so there are times you pay more money to get a better quality product. Kosher salt is almost 9 times as expensive as 4300. Is that worth it?
No.
Okay. I don't think so either. Some students said yes, but I didn't think so. Iodized salt is like 20 times more expensive. Is that worth it?
No.
No. Okay. So now when we look at the data, we need to decide which one of these is the best one. So when you initially look at the data, the first thing you see is kosher. Kosher, kosher, kosher. But kosher was, and excuse my language, stupid expensive. And you said it's not worth it. So do you want to pick kosher?
No.
Okay, so now you have to decide what you want to pick instead.
All right.
So we can do that together very simply, and then you'll be able to write it. But you got Roadrunner on there twice. Do you want to pick Roadrunner?
Yeah, that's probably the one I'd go with.
All right, let's look at the very first lab and see how Roadrunner did. As long as it didn't do the worst, then that's an okay choice.
I'd choose Roadrunner 4300 because they both show up the same amount. So
on the original lab?
No, with our all collected data. So if whichever one does better on the original lab, I'm gonna go with.
Roadrunner was 9, 4300 was 9.1. So they're basically the same.
All right, I'd go with Roadrunner then.
And then if you look at the refreeze lab, 4300 froze at 5% solution, but not at 10 or 25. Roadrunner froze at 5% and at 10%.
All right, so probably 4300.
All right, that's what the rest of your classmates chose. So you can say Ice Melt 4300 is the best. And then while it's fresh on your mind, what I would do is right here in the counterclaim, I would go ahead and say some people would choose Roadrunner, but it's refroze at 5% and 10%.
All right.
So, and then in your reasoning, you would go on to explain why ice melt refreezing would be a bad thing.
Okay.
So that pretty much covers all of that. Don't forget to restate your claim there at the end. You can go ahead and type it on the bottom of this document. Basically, just take each evidence and make it its own little baby paragraph. Don't forget that your reasoning has to explain why you want an ice melt that melts the fastest and the most.
Yeah, for sure.
And just that basic reasoning part, you should be fine with that. So hold on just a second, Hinton, hold on. So that is essentially what we covered in physical science class. We will go over the study guide tomorrow with a little bit of review, and then Wednesday we will take the test.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at.